Cillian, if we jump back to earlier on in your career, it's a cruel question, but are there certain movies you look back on and go, well, I suppose they could be viewed as the big breaks?
Yeah.
Maybe 28 Days Later might be one. A movie now that curses you to never be able to walk across any bridge ever again. You just kind of can't. Westminster Bridge is definitely out.
Yeah, out of bounds.
Hello!
But Red Eye for me, I don't know why, but I first saw you, I think, and went, you do absolutely horrible person incredibly well.
Right now, he's on his way to your hotel, and that's why you need to keep listening.
No, I don't think I don't have to do that.
Yes, you do, if you want your dad to live.
Terrible hairstyle in that film.
What did you say?
You heard me.
But that's what makes him extra horrible. But what else jumps out at you in terms of, okay, well, I'm very glad I had that?
Funnily enough, I made a film when I was very young called Disco Pigs, and that was based on a play that I did.
Mm-hmm. Mein Pig?
Birthday present, you know? 17 in 17 days and it's 17.
And Danny Boyle saw that movie and then auditioned me for 28 Days Later. And then Christopher Nolan saw 28 Days Later and then auditioned me for Batman Begins.
Joe murdered my parents, and they deserve...
Don't pretend you wanted to do this for them.
So I've always been a believer like that good work begets good work. And that's the best kind of show reel you can have is your work,
Completely. I'm going to be a bit cruel here and maybe ask you to turn around at the ball.
Oh, yeah.
What do these images, how do they make you feel? What jumps out at you? For me, I see in the top right Inception.
Yeah.
And that scene itself has become iconic, not only just as some sort of internet meme, but...
You work for the hotel?
No. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams?
I mean, you've seen all that stuff, right?
I've seen them all,
Of course you have. I mean, they're infinite. But what are your memories on working with both Leo and Christopher for Inception?
I remember that day was my first day on set on the movie.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, and it was, this big scene with Leo, who was like, biggest movie star in the world, someone I have huge admiration for.
Don't cock it up.
Totally. But then I walked on, and that whole bar had been built on a huge gimbal. So in order to get the effect of the glass tilting and the, right there.
You feel that?
That the whole thing, this huge set just went like that.
Yeah.
And then there was all these stuntmen. So I knew that I was making a serious movie there.
You've actually been trained for this, Mr. Fisher. Pay attention to the strangeness of the weather, the shift in gravity. None of this is real. You're in a dream.
Also, that's the focus. You're, in that instance, if you don't mind me saying, you're just actors.
Yeah.
When there's a gimbal on that scale and all of this is going on, you are kind of delivering lines.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, Matt Damon always uses this thing, this phrase, NAR, like no acting required. So when the whole set is tilting on its axis, he's gonna just
do your job.
Just be there and just respond.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that movie became a sensation.
They were trying to put you under.
I'm already under.
Under again.
What do you mean, a dream within a dream?
And were you getting people in the street talking to you about it a lot? Because as a film fan, as a professional film journalist, I had people walking up to me saying, I need to talk to you about Inception because it's blown my mind.
Yeah.
As if you had all the secrets.
Yeah. No, it's one that people do bring up a lot. And I don't know what the spinning top at the end represents. Truly, I think that's open to everyone's individual interpretation. Or I should ask Christopher Nolan.
Oh, he loves that question.
Oh, good.
He loves it. Are there particular scenes from your films that fans love to talk to you about, where they go, oh, I'm just obsessed with X or Y? Or
Oh, that's a good question. I guess the walk across the bridge and 28 Days Later, people always want to know how we did that.
They can't conceive of it.
Yeah.
Because, stop me if I'm wrong, that's pre-9/11,
Exactly.
the idea of shutting down London, and you didn't really, you just were there very early in the morning?
Yes.
In the height of summer?
We did manage to get clearance to shoot outside number 10 and put an upturned bus very close. You'd never get that.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Hello!
Not only just shooting there, but then the upturned bus. It's just
Yeah.
it's inconceivable.
But it's also the brilliance of Danny, that he could pull that off. And then we used all these, domestic cameras to do that. And, brilliant writing by Alex Garland.
You're the first uninfected person we've seen in 6 days.
Where's your family?
They're dead, like Selena's.
Yours will be dead too.
What about lines in the street? Do you get people quoting stuff back at you? Because surely Peaky Blinders is just a barrage of that.
It is, yeah. And I'm going to fail to remember exactly which one it is. But I do get lines shouted at me from Tommy, yeah.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
And you sometimes go, I don't quite remember. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, great. Sorry. Because some of his lines are pretty aggressive.
They are a little.
Since I forswore alcohol, I've become a calmer and more peaceful person.
And if they're said at you in the park, it's like, thanks for that.
Yeah, but he's such an extraordinary writer, Steve Knight. He writes these beautiful, beautiful lines
But I warn you, I'll break your heart.
that everyone kind of remembers.
Already broken.
You've worked again with some very funny people. Who's the worst person at cracking you up? Where you go, oh, please don't make me work with him again because I'm just not going to get the line out. I'm going to break. I'm going to corpse. I can't do that.
Oh, Emily Blunt and myself have a terrible habit of corpsing in scenes.
In this film?
I won't say, I remember in the camera tests,
Okay.
it got a bit out of control, but there was nothing at stake there. We were just with camera tests. And there was times in Quiet Place 2, again, with that, you have to have a bit of levity. You have to have a bit of crack.
Oh, yeah, please. A Quiet Place Part 2, is that the most, alongside Sunshine, you've gone, I'm setting out to really mess with people's heads. When have you really felt like you don't want certain members of your family to watch that movie?
Well, part of the reason I loved the first one so much is that I brought my kids to it and they were absolutely terrified but exhilarated by it, And then this is a famous story, but I'll roll it out again.
Let's do it.
I composed an email to John Krasinski, and then I got really embarrassed, and I didn't send it. and then he called me very shortly after that about the second one.
Oh, God, that's just beautiful.
Yeah. When do you think, and this is a silly question, you've ever actively looked back at your work, even slightly, and gone, I had a really good day that day. I had a genuinely excellent time. I really enjoyed myself. Oh, man, yeah. I suppose a lot of my work is so intense, so dark. And a lot of it is trying to work yourself up to this pitch of emotion. Let me think.
Because I asked that knowing that. I think there must...
You tell me, please.
I don't think there are many that spring to mind. I think your career is punctuated by incredibly intense characters and performances.
Yeah.
In fact, I could twist the question around. Which character has forced you to take the longest holiday afterwards?
Oh, that's a good question.
Dunkirk in a boat, shivering. I was like... Yep, that's definitely one trip to Malaga at least.
Yeah, but that one, I was only on that movie for 3 weeks.
Where are we going?
Dunkirk.
And that was the only real big intense scene.
No, we're going to England.
That scene with Mark Rylance and Barry Keogh.
We have to go to Dunkirk first.
I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Hey, look, I'd have enough panic attacks to want to go, at least on a brief one.
Depends how much you like boats, I suppose.
You should be at home!
Well, there won't be any home if we allow a slaughter across the channel.
Tommy Shelby used to do it to me. First of all, you're left with that brutal haircut, and that's kind of that awkward midpoint of growing it out, where you walking around is tricky. And then, yeah, he was always very exhausting. to play because he's so bloody relentless.
Thank you, Cillian.
Take care, man.
Thanks for watching. For more of Cillian, you can listen to him dipping into his record collection on his 6th music show, that's Cillian Murphy's limited edition, available now on BBC Sounds. And you can find this interview in full on BBC iPlayer in the UK by searching for Movies with Ali Plumb.